So once we have our completed asset, how do we get it from Maya into our game in Unity? Well, unfortunately, a simple save won't work, and dragging the save file that we already have into Unity won't work either. So what we need to do is export. So go to File, and then Export All. Next to Export All, click on this small box to the right-hand side. Now, the first thing we need to change here is the file type. Unity won't have a clue what to do with a Maya binary file. So we want to change this into an FBX export. This is something that Unity will understand. Next, we want to check our preset. So click on Edit Preset. Now there's a lot to see here, so pay attention carefully because we only need to change one setting. You can ignore all this stuff on the left. We want to go over here to Embed Media and click on this to expand it. And then all we need to do is check the box that says Embed Media. Now we can close this. And with that done, we can click Export All. Now it's asking us where we want to export this to. Let's just put it somewhere easy to find, like our desktop. And I'll call this Mars Rock Done. And then I can click Export All. Now it's time to get Unity open so that we can get our new asset in here. So let's just try dragging and dropping our new asset from the desktop into Unity. Alright, so here's our asset, and I just dragged and dropped it into my scene. Now we might notice there's a couple of things that don't look great. First off, this is probably too small. So I'm just going to click on it and scale it up so that we can take a better look at it. Now you might notice that our embed media doesn't seem to have worked. Now this is an error that could pop up depending on what versions of Maya or Unity we're using. The good news is there's a very easy fix. So we have the shape, the model of our rock in here, but we don't have the texture. Well, let's just go find the original texture that we used. So I still have saved here my rock UV textured PNG that I made in Photoshop. I can just bring this into Unity as an asset, and now I can apply it to my rock, and because these were designed to fit together, it should look just as good in Unity as it did in Maya. And there's our new rock on Mars. While we're at it, let's also make this into a prefab. That means a version of the rock where the model and the texture are already combined, and we can drag and drop these anywhere we want. Making a prefab is very simple. All we need to do is click on the game object in the hierarchy, actually click and hold on it, and then drag it down here into our assets. And now you can see I've got a combined version of my model. Keep in mind, assets get reused in games all the time. So you could pretty easily take one rock and make it feel different enough just by scaling it smaller, rotating it, sticking half of it underneath the surface. And most people will never notice that you reused an asset instead of creating a new one from scratch. So just be clever about how you use your assets, and you can usually get a lot of mileage out of them. Alright, so now that we've gone through the entire process of creating one asset from start to finish, all the way from Maya and Photoshop and back into Unity, it's time to start thinking about what we're going to do for our final project. For your final project, you'll be creating one detailed asset that's going to go on Mars. It should be a little bit more complicated than the rock that we made, but we'll talk about that more next time. But for now, just make sure that you've saved your scene, and don't forget to take a picture of your rock in the scene with its texture, and then share that screenshot with us in the comments on Schoology. Once that's done, you're good for today, so good luck with this and have fun.